Our characters are at different stages in their lives and are thinking about purpose in different ways. Jim is on the verge of a midlife crisis and is questioning his purpose. Though he makes good living and values being a good provider for his family, he doesn't really like selling cars. Does he see himself working at the dealership the rest of his life? Lewis found purpose early in life and was able to pursue it, but struggles with what comes after retirement. Janelle loves music and the violin and would like to make a career at it, but she's a perfectionist, doesn't like to make mistakes, and is terrified she won't be good enough to fulfill her dream. How about you? Do you know your purpose? It's okay if you don't. Viktor Frankl said we tend to discover our purpose rather than create it as we go through life and make choices. The activities in Grab the Helm are designed for that exploration, to help you find clarity of your purpose. When we have clarity of purpose, we have a clear understanding of ourselves at our best. We know our deepest and most important values. We can use them to make powerful choices in life. We know the journey we will take may be challenging and difficult, yet we can see where we are going and know why we are taking the journey. Let's see a video example of clarity of purpose.
But why, some say, the moon? Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? Why, 35 years ago, fly the Atlantic? Why does Rice play Texas? We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win, and the others too. We shall send to the moon 240,000 miles away from the control station in Houston, a giant rocket more than 300 feet tall, the length of this football field, made of new metal alloys, some of which have not yet been invented, capable of standing heat and stresses several times more than have ever been experienced, fitted together with a precision better than the finest watch, carrying all the equipment needed for propulsion, guidance, control, communications, food, and survival on an untried mission to an unknown celestial body, and then return it safely to Earth, re-entering the atmosphere at speeds of over 25,000 miles per hour, causing heat about half that on the temperature of the sun, almost as hot as it is here today, and do all this, and do all this, and do it right, and do it first before this decade is out, then we must be bold.
What makes this such a great example of clarity of purpose? It's specific. We will travel a man to the moon and return him safely to Earth before the end of the decade. The previous vision of the U.S. space program was a response to the launch of the Sputnik satellite by the Soviet Union. The U.S. needed to be the first in space, but that wasn't specific enough. Scientists and politicians argued over what being first meant. Would it be putting more satellites in space? Would it be exploring the planets in the solar system? Would it be a military capability? There were lots of competing ideas that divided the scientific community, and no one knew what to do. Going to the moon provided a clear goal that, as Kennedy said in his speech, will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. It united the scientific community. Everyone knew what to do next, knew what to prioritize, and most importantly, what to say no to. It was also time-phased. To accomplish that goal before the end of the 1960s would require the space program to be bold and committed, a goal which we, as Kennedy said, must be unwilling to postpone. And it was doable. It would challenge scientists and engineers to develop the new materials and capabilities Kennedy described in his speech. Kennedy knew the challenge would be energizing. With that energy, we'd be able to accomplish the goal. clarity of purpose is amazing when you see it in another. Can you think of someone you know that has this clarity? What do you know about them, and how do you know that they are clear about their why? In the next section, work through this reflection with your learning partner.